Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's have a look at some stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker alongside Tom McKenzie, and we're joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning, Chloe.
Good morning.
Let's look at shares that are not doing particularly well across Europe. BBVA shares, though, an exception. Chairman Carlos Torres' announcement that he'll stay on despite the failed bid for another bank.
Yeah, so investors are happy that he's staying on, but also happy that that bid has failed. So the takeover bid for Sabadell officially failed yet today. It's marking the end of a saga that dragged on for 17 months. So this is actually quite a big setback for Carlos Torres. He'd already tried and then failed to buy Sabadell in 2020. It seems that he kind of once again miscalculated the attractiveness of the offer. But even though this is actually a failure for Torres, BBVA investors are quite happy that the deal is not going ahead. Some analysts said that this is actually quite the relief, that this removes this M&A uncertainty that was hanging over both banks, and it really allows them to move on and focus on their standalone prospects. And then, of course, BBVA also announced a brand new buyback, so that was certainly an additional boost. But BBVA is definitely the standout, whilst the rest of those European banks are falling quite a lot this morning.
On a very different sector, EssilorLuxottica, so the maker of eyewear, really benefiting from its partnership with Meta.
Yeah, very much so. The shares reached an all-time high this morning. It reported really strong sales in the third quarter, and that is, as you said, thanks to really strong demand for AI glasses, so the smart glasses that it makes in partnership with Meta. So it essentially allows users to view messages and photos and also directions through the lens of their glasses. So the expectations around this partnerships are really high, though, so Essilor will have to continue to deliver. To put some numbers on it, the collaboration generated about 365 million euros in revenue in 2024. That could reach 800 this year, and then we could reach 6 billion by 2030. So those are quite optimistic projections, and that will force Essilor to kind of deliver on that. I personally don't know anyone yet who has bought any AI glasses, but it might be the next big thing, so let's watch out for that.
Look, you've read my mind. I was going to say to our man, all things tech, Tom McKenzie, have you tried the specs out? Have your mates buying them?
I've tried them out. They're getting much better.
Are they?
There is a question mark. I mean, you do see a light go on when they're recording you.
Oh, really?
Because obviously there's a... there
are risks.
There are risks, and there's a privacy question here. But they do have a light, so you can tell when they're recording you. But now, yeah, you do have that augmented reality plugged in, and some AI functions as well. But it's obviously working for EssilorLuxottica, and of course, as Chloe's mentioning, Meta has a not insignificant stake in that company.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's see whether it actually hits the kind of mainstream market. Yeah. That's the anticipation. Anyway, very briefly, Swedish automaker Volvo.
Yeah, so it said today that it expects the slowdown in the North American truck market to continue into next year because of continued tariff uncertainty. So it's bracing for the 25% tariffs that we will see on trucks that will take effect on November the 1st, so in just a couple of weeks. And Volvo is quite exposed to that because it builds quite a lot of these trucks in Canada and Mexico, so it will be affected by those tariffs. That's definitely a sector-wide story. We already heard Michelin earlier this week cut its guidance because of that weakness in that North American truck market.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.